everybody, my name is Sandra. Welcome back to my channel. Today is the start of my Franklin Classic planner, kind of like goal filling out inserts. I don't really honestly know what to call this, but it's the beginning of my planner set up for 2023. So because I had so much work I wanted to do, a lot of goal prep, a lot of figuring out what I wanted for 2023, I broke this series up into 3 parts. So technically there's going to be like 4 or 5 videos in total for my Franklin Covey setup for 2023. So I've already posted my first goal kind of filling out prep work. So I will link that video if you guys are interested in checking it out. Sorry if you can hear clicking in the background. My kids are actually both at my mom's and my dogs are freaking out. Like they're freaking out like I would. They're like worried about my kids. It's so funny. And that's what that clicking noise is in the background. Their nails are going back and forth in my living room and kitchen. The first video was kind of like the initial startup and kind of explaining what inserts I was using for my goals and for my values and stuff like that. The second video, I want to work on the cloth and paper inserts. So I don't really know how I feel about all of this, but I feel like the more I journal, the more I write down stuff and explain it to you guys, the more I'll understand what I need as well. So one would think that the Cultivate What Matters goal planner is enough to determine my values and my goals. While I do have all of my goals set in here, they are not written in stone by any means. I mean, plans change all the time. And I do have inserts from Fancy Plans Co. I've got inserts from Franklin, the Teresa Collins, and cloth and paper, and some other various inserts as well. So I just wanted to mention that little fact. And the third video will be like kind of the finalization of any values or roles. Probably these as well, like setting up cloth and paper yearly overview. I don't know if I'll get to that in this video. I want to because I feel like I'm at a good place where I could, but it's just this one takes time because I have to washi tape the edges and stuff like that. So we'll see how far we get. I also have the Franklin Covey values and roles here as well. So if I get enough time, I will fill those out. And I'm going to try to explain to you guys as much as I can while I do it. The routines, I'm not sure if I'll stick with this in the last video because I haven't really decided on a routine. I am filming this. Today's date is December 10th. December 10th today? Yes, it's December 10th. It's a Saturday. And I feel like it's a bit too early. So if you weren't aware, I am pregnant. I am due to give birth on the 31st. That is my induction date. It has not been written in stone yet, but my doctor and I kind of discussed that yes, I do need to give birth early. She is concerned that my baby is measuring big. I have an ultrasound on Tuesday of that is the 13th. And just to kind of determine what's going on. And then I have another one the week after just to see. Again, ultrasound isn't, you would think that it would be accurate, but it is completely not accurate because when I had my last child, I was told she was about an 8, give or take a few points of a pound. And she was 9.5. She was actually over 9.5. So that is not accurate. But right now my stomach is measuring big and I haven't even been checked yet for like cervical dilation or any of that fun stuff. So my doctor is mostly concerned whether I have lots of like fluid and stuff surrounding the baby, which can also be a concern. So I don't know what's going to happen. This is my 3rd child. I could go into labor really quickly. I've already been experiencing some signs. My baby has dropped. I feel lots of pressure, and I'm only 35 weeks today. So I don't know how it's going to go, but I've got about 3 more weeks. And I need to figure out a routine once the baby comes. So honestly, I don't know how tired I'm going to be at that point because even my Franklin setup video will be posted by then. So I do have to have this stuff ironed out beforehand. So even if it's not like a complete routine that I follow to the T, maybe this would be like an ideal schedule that I could see myself having. So if I get time at the end of this video, we'll do the routines. If not, it might be the next time. And we did go over, well, we didn't do any habits, but we did go over some of this here, which was, I can't remember, I don't even know how to pronounce this, it's ikigai or whatever, but it's just basically like your profession, vocation, mission, and passion, and like what you want to do with your life, what you should be doing, kind of gives you hints as to what your purpose should be out of life. And I already feel like I know what I'm finally at the tender age of 40. I finally figured out what I love doing and that I can make money at it. So for me, this isn't a side hustle because technically I'm a stay-at-home mom anyway. And if I wasn't doing this, I would literally be at home, staying at home with my kids. And I just need something to occupy my mind. So I had to start my own business because why the heck not? So anyway, with that, let's get to this. I do have my Cultivate What Matters goals out in front of me because I am, I just wanted to make sure that I have information here in front of me. I did write out a few things that I have some ideas for, but there's lots of like note space on here. So I'm really happy that, if I feel like I need to, I can go back and write some more notes on these inserts. So this is for like the year prep, and it actually is like a full piece of, this is like one that came separate. So it has your preparation. So you can basically write all of these prompts. You just write whatever you feel like. Then it has a vision board section. So technically you could put pictures, but I might just put some point form notes because I don't have any pictures in front of me. And then this might be the notes section, and then this might be pictures later on as I kind of like go throughout my year, because I don't feel like I should rush this. And then you've got a year review. So kind of the things that have happened for 2023, because that's what the year I'll be filling this out for. So I'm going to go ahead and start this, and then we'll quickly chat about it.
Now that I'm looking back, I can see all the signs I tried to fill in the cracks that were spread in my mind, but I was all out of hope, lost in an endless maze. The emptiness had afforded just like a void, but you.
Okay, so I don't really have anything to write on this side. I feel like this kind of covered it. Like I said, my goals are already established. I just wanted to reiterate them. So basically, my word of the year, it's more like 2 words, but synergistic balance. It's kind of like an oxymoron. It's kind of like explaining or over explaining, if you will, because synergy is when like 2 things kind of come together to work really, really well. And balance is obviously having a good, like, balance of 2 or more things as well. So synergistic balance just means whatever I'm trying to balance, to have a good, like, kind of focal point of where I need to go with each thing, but also how they're going to work together and how it's going to mesh well together. So family and business for me are the 2 biggest things. I love what I do. I love my business, but I'm also trying to grow my family. So to do those 2 things together, you can't overdo it and do everything well, right? People say a lot of times when you're trying to, multitask. I can multitask really, really well when I'm not pregnant and not forgetting things, of course. But for the most part, I find it difficult. Like if I find myself getting stressed, because that's probably one of the biggest things I've personally found for myself, is I pay attention to my body more. Now that I'm older, I pay attention to how I feel. I do check in with myself every now and then. I think that's part of self-care. Everybody should be kind of stepping back and like realizing, hey, I'm stressed out. I need to back out of the situation, or I need to say no, or I need to give myself some quiet breathing room, right? So you really need to pay attention to who you are, and you have to like know yourself in order to pay attention, if you know what I mean. So um, a lot of times people will just kind of go throughout life and just do, or like give to others or do whatever, and then they find that they get run out. I read somewhere, and I can't remember where I read this, but they said that we spend so much time, and like you hear about this a lot on YouTube, where there'll be a lot of self-care videos, like this is how you should take care of yourself. Give yourself some time to do this, give yourself time to do that. But really, that should be hardwired into our brain to be able to do all the time anyway. So not necessarily like buying something for yourself instead of always buying something for everybody else. That should just be a given. You shouldn't have to say, oh, well, I deserve this because I always do everything for everybody else. You shouldn't have to talk yourself into it. You should just do it if you can afford to, right? Or like bath time. Like for me, it's a matter of time. I want to have a nice, relaxing bath, but I am pregnant. I've got a bazillion things to do. My husband works out of town, so he's not here and I'm on my own with two other kids. I drive my oldest to school. I'm home with my little all day, and I'm pregnant, and I'm doing all the Christmas shopping. I'm doing all the Christmas decorating. I'm doing all of the furniture moving, all of the baby cleaning. Thank goodness I have my mom to help me. But and then also, like, you're worrying about your house on top of it. So if something happens to the house, I'm in charge of it. I have to take care of it. If something happens with our bills or our finances, I'm in charge of that. I have to take care of it. So not even the fact of actually having to do the things, I'm responsible for things that might not necessarily have to be done yet, but that might come up. And just the fear of that alone doesn't stop me from doing things, but it's in the back of my head that yes, I'm responsible for that. And if something were to happen, I have to be ready and ready to fix it or do something about it. So my mind is always constantly going, and I'm holding out pretty good. I don't get anxious about things. I haven't been depressed. You know what? I've been doing really, really well. And sometimes people thrive under pressure, and I feel like that's what I'm doing. I have had a few breakdown moments, but that's mostly hormonal. In the last 2 or 3 days, I've really felt it, and I think it's just because of the baby is coming soon. So, considering all things considered, I think I'm doing pretty darn well. So, but again, this is for 2023, so I'm getting ahead of myself here. So I'm looking forward to family time, taking a break from work. I am planning on cutting down. I won't be doing any blogs, which is usually stressful every Wednesday. Creating sticker designs on Tuesday is also stressful. I'm taking a break from that and just quitting for like 3 weeks. Or maybe an entire month, I don't know. But I am caught up on my blogs till the end of April, so I'm okay there. And as far as my other work is concerned, honestly, like, it's pretty easy. I have to plan anyway, so I'm probably gonna continue doing my budget and planning videos. Not a huge deal for me. Unless I actually have the baby, then I'll probably let you guys know if that's something that's no-go. So, my focus is balance. That's my balance. I want to give everything to my family and live in those moments, not just because for my kids' sake and to make sure I'm present in those moments, but for my sake too, because I want to have memories of that. All we ever have as we get older, we lose the materialistic things. Our kids leave how like they leave the home. All we have are the memories. And so that's what I want to make more of and make sure that I'm present in those moments to remember the stuff and take the pictures and do all that. Okay, things to improve this year. So I want to work on my self improvement. I recently had a comment on one of my videos, recent videos, saying because I love reading fiction books, right? And so they're like, why don't you just do what you love? Well, I do love reading fiction, but at the same time, I want to work on myself and read nonfiction, read stuff that will improve my business, read stuff that will improve my health or my like self-help books, if you will, right? Like stuff that will improve my spirituality mindset. And that's more for what I should do in my head, but I do love reading fiction because it's my escape into the unknown. It's my escape away from like the daily life that I'm living. Not that I want to escape from it. That's not what I'm saying because I really enjoy my life, but more just as a fantasy read, it's just nice. It's nice to it's like watching a movie. It's just nice to relax with a book and you're reading, doing what you love. Home improvement. So we have quite a few projects on our goal list for this year. Most of them are outside projects. Well, I guess not most of them. We're going to finish our flooring. So we started our flooring 2 or 3 years ago when our daughter was born, and we just never followed through last summer because my husband was busy working. So we're going to actually make the time to finish our flooring in our bedroom. We put in all new laminate flooring upstairs, and we're going to paint the last two areas that need to be painted, our bedroom and the hallway. I'm also just improving the balance in all of those aspects. So a lot of that comes down to planning, honestly. Okay, this year I'm going to spend quality time with my family and be in the moment when I need to be. And goals, I just kind of reiterated my goals for my Cultivate What Matters power sheets, improve our credit score, do the home projects, take care of my health and my family's health, take a big family trip and be more spontaneous. So that's one of my things is that I tend to not be spontaneous. I like plans. I like to know when I have to go out and do stuff. But I want to do those fun trips where like, hey, let's have a barbecue tonight. I know it's a summer thing, but like, let's go have a barbecue tonight. Let's go get some drinks and just sit and relax, or let's go to a brewery, or like, I can't wait till after like my baby is born because I really enjoy going to a brewery. That's one of the things I like. I like the social aspect of not necessarily drinking and getting drunk. I don't really get drunk that often. It's not something that I make a habit of doing. Maybe once every couple months or something. I don't get drunk. I drink casually, so I might have one or two drinks, but um, I enjoy doing that. I like going to new places and testing out new beer and stuff like that. So especially locally, I'm a huge local fan of breweries ever since our my son's grandpa kind of got into home brewing. So um, I miss doing that. That's one of the big things I miss when I wasn't pregnant. But I have to be careful because I will be breastfeeding, so I don't want to make a habit of doing that. And also, my husband works; he'll still be working out of town every 2 weeks anyway, so it won't be that often. So, and the big family trip is not really a huge family trip. Like we're not going to Hawaii or anything because we wouldn't be able to afford that, but going on a trip to Banff and staying for like 3 days and 3 nights or something in a hotel, being able to do like the touristy thing, sightseeing, going to a mountain or going up the gondola or something like that, going to the hot springs. I think that'd be fun. And by then our baby will be like 5, 6 months old, so I think that would be really cool. So I'm excited to do that. Next, the vision board. So let's see here. I'm just going to write down all of these, just as many ideas as I can. This is more of a brainstorming process. So I'll write down physical, dreams to try, focus, mental, financial, and to do.
Broke the coldness somehow and lit up a flame. Ooh, I was done feeling hopeless. Screamed out loud because it felt impossible in my bones, like getting blood out of the stone on my own. But you came around and removed the thorn.
All right, so actually, you know what? I thought that this was going to be a lot harder than it was, but let's talk about this quickly. So, for dreams, I don't really talk about my big dreams in my Cultivate What Matters planner because I tend to focus on yearly goals that things that I know I can accomplish in the next year. And it's not that I don't look ahead. I'm currently reading this book called Future Boards, and which you'll see here in my to-do list. Again, I'm not adding all my to-dos here because I've got so many to-dos all the time. But these are things that relate to my goals and to my dreams. So one of my dreams is to buy a brand new home. So I've already got things. You'll see what I mean. Like we can't go and buy a brand new home this year because of our credit rating and because of our money situation. So I do have things on the go, for instance, improving my credit score. So maybe in 5 years we'll be able to buy a home. We want to save more money. We are not actually saving up money for a new home down payment this year, but if we can get our current home paid off, we'll have the equity in order to use that money for a down payment if we can sell. Also, improving our home projects. So, improving our home will help with that a little bit. Our home has been quite run down. My husband has lived here for 20 years and he hasn't done hardly a thing to it until I came along. And then I started kind of getting the fire under him, like, let's get this done. Let's paint the house. Let's, put new curtains up even. Like just something that will make the house look better. Because he was a bachelor before, he didn't care, right? So another dream that I've had for quite a while is going to Costa Rica. That is like one of my epic dreams. I would love to do that and just go for like a week or two. I don't know, with the kids, I don't know, but I've always wanted to do that. And also New York. New York is another big one that I've always had on my wish list. And eventually it will happen. Okay, to try. Be spontaneous. So I'm keeping these simple, guys, because this is stuff that is all new to me. Okay, so focus is balance in life. That's my thing for this year. That's my word of the year. For physical, drinking water, keeping the house clean, keeping up with my kids, not be overtired, make sure I get enough rest, which is going to be challenging with a new baby at home, keeping healthy, regular doctor visits, and starting to track my meds. So some of these habit forms will be going into my health section, and I'll actually be tracking my medical because I do take quite a few different medications. that are necessary for me to take on a daily basis. Not that I'm sick. I do have asthma. I do have an issue with my stomach. As some of you may have known that I talked about it before, I had gastritis. I had an actual attack where I thought it was gallstones, but it was just the inflammation of my stomach lining was super inflamed. It was really bad, and I thought I was dying. Like, I honestly, honest to God, thought I was dying, and nobody could help me. And so I was super frustrated with that. I was frustrated. I was in pain. I thought I was dying. I was pregnant, and I felt like nobody could help me. So I literally felt like my healthcare system was failing me, until I went to a third or fourth doctor, got a different opinion, and they finally kind of clarified some things and said, hey, no, it's not gallstones, it's gastritis. You can do this, 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 and this to help yourself. I did try those things, and guess what? They worked. So I've been trying to follow through with things like that just to help myself get better. Mental. So mental to me is anything, any of your thoughts, anything that you think about, anything that is for your mental health, right? So anything that helps me with my mental health is what I've listed here. Biggest one, quiet time. When you have kids, you don't get a whole lot of quiet time. I mean, for any of you guys watching who do have kids, you will know that firsthand. You don't get quiet time. My kids follow me around like little chipmunks. Like sorry for the lighting here, guys. They're like, talk, 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 mom, mom. And so when I get quiet time, like right now, yes, I'm working, but I would also like some of that quiet time just to sit and eat my food in silence and peace, or watch a movie by myself. I don't get that often. My son would crawl into bed with me almost every night because he was afraid of sleeping in his own room. Now he's 8 years old, so my husband's parents, and like I guess our parents really have no consideration in this whatsoever, as do anyone's opinions really. It doesn't really matter except mine and my husband's, because we're the ones dealing with it on a daily basis. But my husband's parents were like, he shouldn't be in your bed. And my mom was like, oh, well, he's fine. If he is comfortable there, that's where he should be. But I'm at the point now, like, because I'm about to give birth, like I need to care for my newborn who's staying in the room with me until he's old enough to switch to a crib, because SIDS is a real thing, and you don't want to leave a baby alone in a room. Like I feel more comfortable being in the same room with my baby. Recently, the last 3 days, I have got my son to sleep in his own room. He has to have the TV on, and he has to have a light on. It has to be like the full light. It can't even be a night light. So at least I've got him to transition to his room. So now I've got the entire bed to myself, and I'm enjoying it. Like when he was sleeping with me, I would wake up, he'd kick me in the middle of the night, he'd be laying across the bed, and now I am so much more comfortable. Like I'm not comfortable because I'm like 9 months pregnant, but I'm way more comfortable than I was before. So I'm enjoying that right now before the baby comes. And that's part of the reason I wanted to get him adjusted, get him used to being on his own, and also realizing that, hey, maybe I need to think about it for a while, because like mom's gonna have another baby and I don't come first all the time. And like for me, it was hard to do that because he was my first baby. The situation was different. There's circumstances that kind of led up to this. Why he was sleeping with me, he had anxiety since he was a wee one. So anyway, I won't even talk about that because that's neither here nor there. He's now in his own room, so I've got more quiet time. So my spirituality is also something that is part of my mental process. I don't get a lot of time. So this past year, that was one of my goals, and I failed with it miserably. Didn't get time to do anything with it, work on it, nothing. It's one of the things I want to start working on and start spending time on. Okay. Another thing is journaling my thoughts. I do journal daily. One of my goals is to work a nightly process into my nightly routine as well. And I haven't had time. Again, I usually am exhausted by the end of the night. But again, I think it's because I'm pregnant. Reading is a huge one. I do that in silence. So I think, it's a mental thing, part of my mental health. It's part of my relaxation time. So again, it counts as under mental. Tarot and Oracle. I do weekly readings for myself. Meditation. Haven't had a lot of time to do that either, because that kind of falls into quiet time. And writing in my kids' journals, because it's important that I keep up with their lives. I kind of did a baby books with my first two, and then you know how it goes. You just kind of like don't do it after a while. So I've got a couple of different like baby type journal books where I talk about all of the experiences they had, of little cutouts of their hair, some of their teeth, some of the things that like their milestones and stuff. But now I just write about their accomplishments as they get older. So I think that's also all of good material that they can read when they get older. For financial, improving a credit score and saving money, and to do. So my future board will be in January, and then plan trips for the year and their home projects. Those are our bigger focus items. Planning the trips, we'll have to do that sooner. If they're booked for July, I'll actually have to like pay for the hotel. We'll have to make sure my husband's off work, make sure we figure out what we're doing with the kids. The kids will be coming with us to Banff when we go. And our West End trip, I don't know if we'll do 2 trips or if we'll just do 1 and spend a night at the hotel by ourselves. My son kind of wants to do that. He wants to stay in one of the rooms with us, but I think that'll be our Banff trip, so we can all stay in a hotel together. So we'll see. We might do a little bit of give and take for that. So that is it for that section. Now, this part I'm going to leave maybe for pictures, or maybe, yeah, I don't know. This is the review, so we'll come back to this at the end of the year. And now for cloth and paper inserts, I have what's called a discovery ledger. So a little bit more journaling, and then we can talk about it. There's basically 6 steps to identify and align your personal core values. So we'll talk about that when we get there, but I'm going to fill this one out first. Okay, so this one I actually found really interesting to fill this out. Number one, I didn't really feel like this was hard either, so I don't know if I'm super prepared tonight. When I first started this video, I didn't feel like I was going to be prepared because I was like, oh, I don't know if I'm ready for this. But I love the fact, I like this sheet because number one, your answers don't have to be very long. They don't have to be very specific. And a lot of them relate to one another, okay? So the things that I'm seeing here is that my family, my business, my art, all of the things I do in my business, the things that I pre-planned for my business, and like, you know, my family, like living my life, being happy, like all of those things, they kind of like interrelate, and it's like this huge moving part, this huge ball of my life all kind of coming together. I admire. So people who seem to have it together. So you know how you like look at these people and like there's some people that you know that are trying, that they try to make it look like they have everything together. Like for instance, one of my friends always used to wear makeup, so she would never leave her house without makeup. But her hair would be done, her makeup would be done, she'd always be dressed nice. She always looked like she had it together. But underneath, she was a hot mess and her entire life fell apart. And so you know that when people try too hard, they want to make it look to other people like, you know, they have it together, but actually they don't. So when people actually do, I mean, you might not be able to tell. Like they might have it together, they might look exactly that way, but they actually might have their lives together. Usually by the time, usually when you have your life together, you're probably already retired, to be quite honest, because there's so many things that can happen in your life, so many unknowns that we don't know are going to happen, that kind of make everything fall apart. And sometimes that's beautiful. I mean, when you're a kid in the middle of a divorce, that's not beautiful, but sometimes when things fall apart, it opens doors for you to, you know, to get something better. But I do admire when I see people who look polished and put together. I admire that. I'm not always polished. I don't do my makeup every morning. There's a lot of times, most of the time I don't. I used to, not anymore. I've got too many more important things to do with my time. But I appreciate it and I do admire it when I see other people have that. even if I don't know for sure if it's honest or not. Okay, but I admire honesty. So I admire, like, if someone is gonna like tell me a lie to my face to make me feel better and I find out about it, that doesn't make me feel good. Okay, I admire loyalty. So, you're loyal to somebody and you don't like talk behind their back, or you don't, um, whatever it is. I admire loyalty. Okay, hard workers. I really admire that because that shows who you are as a person. And I admire beauty. I love beautiful things. And I'm not talking about necessarily like somebody who looks beautiful, because looks in a person change. Like that's not something that I necessarily appreciate. I appreciate it, but it's not something that I look for in a trait as a person. I'm talking more like sunsets or beautiful artwork, something that you can create that is gorgeous and that will last forever, that kind of stuff. Even writing pieces of art, that kind of thing. Like really good books, that's a work of beauty, right? So, okay, passionate. I'm passionate about my art, passionate about my family, my planning. I love planning. Inspiring people, being open and honest, and honestly, just living my life and being happy living my life. Okay. I excel at planning and organization, definitely. Giving advice. I wanted to put like a little like winky face there because, I love to give advice. People might not like my advice because I'm quite open and honest about how I feel, but I love giving it. Budgeting, and I put question mark because, we still have room for improvement there. Speaking my mind and being honest. I am honest to a point of directness that has hurt people in the past, but I look at it like I would rather be hurt than be lied to. So, okay, I wish to accomplish. So I want to grow my business. Obviously, I don't want to grow it to the point of having to hire a CEO and have a board of members, nothing like that, but grow my business so that I'm flourishing, that I can be comfortable having my business. I can support my family on my business. I'd be good with that. Okay, planning fun trips. I want to do that this year. Increasing our credit score, being debt-free, improving our lives, which those things will do. So I believe I left off at improving our lives, and doing all of these things. I think that will happen naturally if I follow through with my goals, and living somewhat minimally. So by that, I'm talking about my Swedish death cleaning project and just getting rid of all of the stuff I've been carrying around with me for years and years, and just using what we need at the time. Okay, so my future will hold great beauty, beautiful things, kind of the same thing, I know, but I was on a roll here. Fun times, karaoke, traveling, and being debt-free. I endeavor to be positive, always work hard, be loyal, be there for my kids, my husband, and to grow my business. I have a need for peace, honesty, loyalty, quiet time, love, and beauty. And the last is I'm here to inspire, speak the truth, create beauty, love my family, create a difference, and live my life. So you can see how all of these things kind of like they all resound, right? Like they're all the same. Like they kind of go around this circular loop. And maybe it seemed like a little bit of overkill, but I feel like it all came back to the same things. And so that's kind of how you figure out what's important to you. So now we're going to do these 6 steps. Let's see here. So it says 6 steps to identify and align your personal core values. So step 1, write down all the significant moments that taught you something important in your life. So I don't know if I'll be able to do all of them because there have been quite a few, but I'm going to write down as many as I can. Okay. So I don't really feel like I have to group these because I didn't write every single significant moment in my life where I learned something. I've learned something pretty much from everything that's ever happened to me, but I wrote down the most important ones, and they kind of stemmed from, I guess, the hard stuff in my life, because it's kind of how you learn. It's like these aren't necessarily my mistakes, but It's like when you do something good, it's great. You get praise for it or you get something positive out of it. It's like a positive learning experience where you're like, okay, if I do this, I'll get that. So you repeat those processes, right? But when something bad happens and you learn, like for instance, like if your parents smoke or drink, or well, maybe not drinking because everybody seems to drink, but like if your parents smoke, you can either do one of two things. You can either love it, you could try it, and you could want to smoke too and say, well, I smoke because my parents smoked and I tried it when I was young. Or you can say, well, I don't smoke because my parents smoke and I've seen what it does to them. Or I guess there's a third option. Your parents might not smoke and then you can still smoke or not smoke. But in the option that they do smoke, in my case, it was because I saw, like, I didn't like the smell of it in the house. I didn't like, you know, how it affected their health and stuff. I just didn't like it. And so in my case, I never tried smoking ever. And that was like my positive learning experience from their bad behavior. So kind of like the same thing here. Like, I've been through, of my parents, I've been through two divorces, and I want to never go through that. I never want to put my kids through that. So lucky enough, I picked a partner that I don't think that will ever get divorced, but if we were ever to run into issues, I'd hope that we'd be able to communicate and kind of work through it and stick together. So, and I think he feels the same way. So, yeah, just these are like really important like life messages. They're not so much like um, yeah, like they don't give you enough room to write down all of the significant moments. So I think these are good. So step 2, it says group and narrow them down, but I mean, I don't think I need to do that. So step 3 is place an asterisk next to the ones that represent who you really are and those that support who you want to grow into. So then step 4 is select 10 or fewer. They're the core values, who you are, and will be demonstrating daily. So I have to kind of like bring these into like one word core values, I guess, like values. So if I look at the Franklin Covey values, I just want to look here. So these are values, which I'll be doing this one. I'll probably be doing this in a separate day because I'm already past, I think I'm almost at an hour anyway. So let's see. So divorce. I want to keep my family together and happy. So what is that? Love, respect, and loyalty, really. So let's go love, respect, loyalty. I've already kind of highlighted the ones I'd be using under Franklin anyway, so they all kind of fall under the same thing. And then my dad dying, so living every moment to the fullest. I guess honestly, it's like those things like love, loyalty, and respect, but also courage, which I've highlighted, because it takes courage to live your life and live in the moment, right? So birthing my kids, they're my life, but that also falls under love and loyalty. Patience is a good one, but that's not really how I meant patience. But anyway, okay. So depression and being lonely. So keep communication open and keep my friends. So that's one thing I don't have in here. I'm just going to add friendships and communication. I don't know if that's a value, but I'm going to write those in there. Okay, so getting degrees, not getting the job in that field. So my kind of lesson in that is that to be passionate about what I'm doing and really want something. So I think I found what I've done that in my business. So passion, and that's also learning. Okay. Oh, and education. Education and learning. Okay, and then credit card debt. So save money, manage better, no spending on unnecessary things. Again, that could be career, but that's learning, I think, because you kind of learn as you go when it comes to. It also takes courage too. It takes courage to kind of face financial responsibility and be responsible for your debt and be responsible for your bills and just like man up and say, okay, well, look, we want food on the table this month. We want to pay our mortgage. We can't get this, this, and this. So I like that. I like having courage for that. fighting, so forgive easily and let it go. So again, that takes courage and respect and loyalty, patience, and love. So again, those are good. It also takes teamwork though. I like the teamwork one because I look at me and my husband as a team. Like we're best friends and we're working together to like create our family, support our family, love our family, all of the things. And then the last one, it says people being mean. So it's not me, it's them. Learn to let it go. So again, that is courage and respect for yourself too, because it kind of stems from knowing who you are and knowing that you're much better than like if someone calls you names, you're not that name, right? Just because somebody else feels that way doesn't mean that's who you are. They're just really unhappy. So the other ones that I have on here, so honesty is a big one for me. Beauty is also a big one because I love to create beautiful things. So that's kind of from the first little bit of journaling that we did there. I have career on there, courage and education. Yes. Love, loyalty, and patience. I don't have patience. Love, loyalty, patience, and respect. So I have those. So it says pick no more than 10. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So if I cross off 2 and then learning and education, I'll just put learning. I'm trying to think of something else. I need to cross off 2. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Oh no, 3. I have to cross off 3. Okay, so somehow loyalty and friendships is going to come into 1. Okay. And then communication and teamwork is going to come into another one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, 10, 11. And then career and learning. See, I like learning for just the sake of learning too. Like it doesn't have to be about my career, but maybe what I'll do is respect. And I wonder if respect and honesty can be like one. I'm just trying to think because honesty is different than having respect for somebody. But I mean, if I respect somebody, I'll be honest with them. And if I'm honest with them, that usually means I respect them because, well, I mean, honesty is one of my core values because I'd be honest with anybody, whether I respect them or not. So yeah, I'm going to cross passion out of here because, well, I don't know, like passion and beauty, for me, they would go together, but because what I do is my passion. So maybe what I'll do is put passion and career together. Even though like maybe beauty would be like my art. I don't know, because passion is kind of like my planning, my art, stuff that I'm super passionate about, like stuff that I'm really, really, really into. So I don't know, it's kind of hard to pick. Okay, let's cross beauty. Well, I like creating beauty, like beautiful things. But that's also kind of what I'm passionate about. So maybe I'll cross off beauty and keep passion. So I'll put today's date. Today is the 10th, like I was saying. So I've got love, honesty, respect, friendship / loyalty, communication / teamwork, courage, patience. They say patience is a virtue. It should be a virtue and not a value. Okay, passion, learning, and career. Okay, so those are my 10 values. I don't really know how career can be a value, but it's kind of like, I guess technically, like I could cross off career because through career, that is my patience, that is learning, It took courage to start up my business and kind of to defy like everybody and everything kind of around me. It took honesty to kind of face up to what I really wanted to do with my life. But it took a lot of courage and also communication and teamwork from my husband. So technically I could cross off career. I don't think career is a value, right? Values are like, these are values. Okay, so there we go. So yes, it's messy, but it works. Okay, so then I think step 5 and 6 is something to do with like come back in like a month or something and reassess every month to see what's going on. So these are just journaling things I won't do right now. Yeah, so step 5 is every 30 days, spend 15 minutes evaluating your core values, ask these questions. And then step 6 is every 12 months. So I won't do that right now. So like maybe monthly, like I'll make a note to myself to check on these. Let's see here. So I'll call those my core values. So review core values monthly, and that's step 5 during monthly setups. So maybe that will be like I don't know if there's like enough journaling space there to like do something like that. I do have like paper on the back, I guess, on the back of these, but I don't really want to do that. So let's see, I've got one here. This was like the initial. I guess I kind of wasted that. I didn't have to put that there, whatever. So it would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh yeah, 10, 11. Actually, that gives me enough room because this is basically already done for January, right? So if there's 11, that gives me one spot every single month that I could come back and kind of talk about those questions. So that's actually perfect. So I'm really happy with that. I'm just kind of thinking about time-wise here. I guess what we could do is start doing these, but I feel like I should leave this for the next one and then we can kind of talk about it, because when I speed these up, honestly, it does make the video a lot shorter. So I think that's what we'll do. So I finished the cloth and paper inserts, so they are done. And now I kind of have a basis from where to go from here. So what we'll do next time, because I don't want to do the, I don't even know where I put them now, the cloth and paper inserts here. I don't want to do all of this stuff in my January setup because I think it'll just be too long. So I'll quickly do these. Like this won't take much to kind of talk through because I've already discussed a lot of that here. And then we'll write out, and this one, what I could do is leave this and do these monthly. So this would be like, this is my values. That's my values and like roles and stuff. I'll start with this and we'll fill out just like the basic core ideas for like the whole first quarter, and I'll take that from my Cultivate What Matters and maybe some parts of my values and roles, and then kind of tie that in together. We'll maybe fill this part out because I want to show you guys how I manipulate this to make it fit into my Franklin Covey Classic. And then this is something maybe we'll do during the month, because if I have like, I don't know, say I have like 4 big main goals, I can write them out here. Like if there's any goals that have like multiple steps, I think it would be good to put it on here. These are the Fancy Plans co-inserts. So I don't have to necessarily, like I guess it would be 1 page per month, because I don't want to carry these over from month to month. Unless I do, like I could just cross it out once I'm completed the goal. But yeah, we'll see how it goes. But I think that's a good idea. I'll do this part first in the goals video part 3, and then we'll do the overview, the cloth and paper overview, and then I'll probably do this as well. And then this will be like more a monthly thing. And then that will be it, because I know I've gone over quite a lot of material with you guys in the last one too. So we did all of the filling out of all of these all of these inserts here, and then we did the cloth and paper inserts today. This was actually quite time consuming, but I think it was worthwhile. I think it was quite good actually. So I want to find, those are my rules and values, that would be my goals, make it happen. And then this part, so this is my routine section. So this might be something I'll have to come to terms with sooner rather than later as well. Unless I do the routines, it's something I could work on, or I could work on that during a weekly video maybe. Or I mean, I could write it out and then just show you guys after. That could be something that's a possibility. I know that you might like to have, like to see me in action, to talk about it and explain how I'm doing or why I'm doing it, but it might be a lot to kind of take in at the same time. All right, guys, so that is it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope it wasn't too long for you. If you did like it, please give it a thumbs up. If you are new here, I would love if you consider subscribing. Click on that bell button to be notified every time I upload new videos. I've got a whole bunch coming for you throughout the month of December, and I will chat with you later. Bye, friends.